came up with this sort of new format of live videos, and I am collaborating with a friend of mine who is Nadir. Hi.
Hi. Hi, Marta.
Hi. Oh my
Hi.
God, finally. Oh, Jesus.
Technology.
Yeah, but everything is happening perfectly. I just had a minute to reconnect with some of the people who's been on this journey with me for a long while, so I'm happy to see them and perhaps introduce you, my friend, my brother in faith. Although we are from
Yes.
different sort of movements of faith, but we believe that there's only one God and we're all brothers and sisters. So, Nadir, hello.
Hi,
And
Marta.
Nadir is joining me for some heart-centered conversations. Today, Nadir and I was going to come up here, and we're planning to do that every week and have some heart-centered conversations. And today we wanted to explore the topic of authenticity. How are you guys feeling about it? Oh my God, 674 hearts.
Beautiful.
Thank you. You guys rock. Thank you.
Lovely. Lovely. Marta,
All right. Yeah, Nadir, I'm gonna pass the mic to you and
of course.
let you
Thank
lead.
you. Thank you. Thank you for the virtual mic, Marta. You know, there's a very interesting topic that we have today on authenticity. And I think we need to start off by asking you, what does authenticity mean to you personally? Let us get an idea of what it means to you.
Oh, I don't know how many definitions of authenticity there is. Really, to me, it's just really the reality, the truth of who you are, being true to who you are, being, I think I might be mistaken. So please, if there's any Christians watching here, don't come at me. But I believe in the Bible, Jesus says it's when your words, your thoughts, and your deeds all align. That's being
Beautiful.
authentic.
Beautiful. Thank you.
What about
And
you, Nadir? What about you? What it is to
I
you?
think I think just being yourself and not wearing any hat or pretending to be anybody else, but truly speaking from the heart and just being who you are.
Is it
Then
so
that's
easy
what
though?
that exactly. Because I think for some of us, depending on the occasion, we adopt different hats or different faces or pretend to be somebody we're not. And this
Yes.
completely contradicts what authenticity is all about.
Yes. And then what
Yeah.
happens? Then what happens when we betray ourselves like that?
We're doing injustice, a true injustice
Too?
to ourselves. People
And
don't, yeah, and people don't connect to actors. I give an example. The other day, I was the master of ceremony, and fortunately for me, I didn't do a script. Most people, I think, they generally have a script. So they try to memorize this, make it look real, make it look as if they're speaking from the heart. But guess what? People do not connect to actors when they are MCs. I personally, what I did on Sunday, it was my sister's wedding, and I was requested to be the master of ceremony. What did I do? I spoke from the heart. And guess what I said in the audience? I said, we all remember, well, for some of us at least, 10 years ago when we decided to tie the knot. For others, it might be 2 years, might be 5 years, 20 years. But we've all started somewhere. And we've gone through those roller coaster rides where we find ourselves at the low point, at the high point. But I think what's most important being on this journey is how we help each other up when we find our partner down in life. And similarly, I say to my sister and my husband, Now is your journey together. And I expect you guys to help each other up during this journey called marriage. And that came from the heart. Moving
That's
on to the,
beautiful.
moving on to the next question, Martha. I would like to find out from you. Is there a moment where you felt that you were truly authentic in your actions or words?
That's an interesting question.
Um,
I guess what I can say is that the more consciously I am on this path, the more I am aware and striving to align my actions with my actual thoughts and words, because I definitely used to be somebody who played more of a role of being somebody rather than just really being somebody, you know? And that's because, of course, all of the conditioning and all of the fears that come in our heads when we consider, oh, what if I show up like this? What will people think about me? Will people accept me? And that's valid questions, right? We all want to be accepted and loved. We're social beings, and we want to have family. We want to have friends. We part of our well-being, a big part of our well-being, comes from the sense of belonging, our community, our family, our relationships, and how good our relationships are. And so, this is where the biggest challenge comes in when when we have a lot of experiences where people cannot accept us, or let's say certain parts of us. They cannot deal with certain parts of us for some reason, and keeping in mind that the reason is always their reason.
of course.
Let's not make it about ourselves, but we often do make it about ourselves, and that's why we hide parts of ourselves. We are afraid that, okay, if I show up as myself in this relationship or in this community, then I might lose these people. I might lose this thing. I might lose this job. I might lose this thing and that thing. And that's a valid fear, right? But then question is, really do you really want to stay in the relationships, a job, in the environment where you cannot truly be yourself? How how happy can you be, like, sitting in the prison cell where, okay, this is how much freedom you have, and if you just do this, are they gonna accept you? I know for sure that I've done that for over 30 years of my life, and then at some point I was like, wow, something's not working. I just I can't keep going like this, and that's when my journey with becoming more of who I am and learning about who I am. That's when it started about 8 years ago.
Beautiful.
Um, yeah. But I also want to, Nadir, this is our second live, and I want to make sure that we attend to our guests this time because people are interacting with us, and I want
Oh
to make
yes, oh yes.
sure.
I
I want
think
to
the
make
all
sure
positive comments that has come through thus far. There
authentic and
was,
being happy goes hand in hand. Yes.
of
What do you
course.
think, Nadir?
No, I
Authentic and
agree.
being happy goes hand in hand, of
I
course.
think definitely being your true self ultimately makes you would lead to happiness. So if I flip the question around and say, being fake, would that make you happy? Yeah,
Would that make you happy?
happy.
And
Being,
then we have another question,
yeah,
or a thought. Authenticity is nice and mostly good, mostly good, but
Yes.
unfortunately or not, in no way a Christian concept. That is so funny because I just quoted Jesus, who said about his words, thoughts, about our words, thoughts, and deeds all aligning. And that is the very definition of authenticity. So to say that Christian concept does not include authenticity, I feel like it's a misconception. And I guess if we look at Christianity and maybe every other religion really on a big scale, we will see there's so many different movements of Christianity, or Nadir is Muslim, so he's of
Yes.
a Muslim faith. And what does that say about us people, human beings? We're so attached to what we want to believe that it's hard for us to see what there actually is, right? So me, I would say 100% authenticity is aligned with Christian concept. I guess which concept are we talking about? If we speak about Jesus and what he actually taught, I think that's what he taught. Being true to who you are. Love yourself, right? Love your neighbor as thyself. So it starts with loving yourself. And how can you love yourself and betray yourself at the same time? Is that possible? Is that love? Is that loving?
No, not at all.
No,
They they're completely the opposite.
they are. They are.
Yeah.
It's not loving. And so the path of love, first of all, it all starts with self-love, because that's how we learn to love in the first place. Because how do we even know anything unless we experience it? How do you know how to? Can I ask you, Nadir, to go and I don't know, perform a liposuction on a woman? You're gonna say, no, I'm sorry,
No,
I don't know how to do that, right? And so
true.
would it be it would be unreasonable for me to demand that you go and do that, right? But if
Correct.
you had an experience, then you'd say, yeah, sure, I know how to do it, and da 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 da. And so with love, it's the same thing. Unless you have an experience of it, how do you know what it is or how to do it? It's like walking. We all came in here and we didn't know how to walk, and then by watching others, we were getting up and trying, falling down and getting up and trying and falling down 1,000 times until we were able to walk. Same with the self-love. You start with getting to know yourself, because you can't love somebody you don't know. How can you love somebody you don't know? Everybody has their own preferences and everybody experiences love in a different way. We have all these different love languages. And so you can't, like, I read this amazing quote that said, just because you say that you love me doesn't mean that I feel loved by you.
So
So
true.
isn't that loving somebody actually implies that you know them? And so isn't that loving yourself actually implies that you know yourself? So you start with getting to know yourself. What works for me, what doesn't? What feels good for me, what doesn't? And then you start acting in your best interests. And that, again, self-love and authenticity also walk hand in hand, because how can they not? How can you love somebody and how can you love yourself and not be true to yourself? How is
Yeah,
that
that would,
possible?
yeah, that would be doing an injustice to yourself.
And that wouldn't be loving, right?
Correct. Yeah. It's completely moving away from authenticity. ultimately being fake.
Yeah,
So you,
and we don't do that on purpose. We do that
yeah,
out of
yeah,
fear, out of
yes,
fear.
yes. And I think the conditioning has instilled fear into others, which leads to people not living their true purpose or being authentic. Because I think this touches on, if we look at the differentiation between authenticity and seeking approval. So we find there's a portion of people that are authentic, and there's a percentage of people seeking approval. So these are the two topics that I want us to compare and explore together.
Can you come again, please, with the question?
So the topic is differentiating between being authentic and seeking approval.
Being authentic eliminates seeking approval. It just doesn't go together. Seeking
Yep,
approval is trying to get others to like you. Being authentic is being good with yourself as yourself, no matter what.
I agree. I agree. How would you say societal pressure impact people's ability to be authentic?
Oh, we're social beings. We are social beings. Leave us alone. How long will we make it? But just by ourselves, alone. How long will we make it? What's your guess? My guess, not that long, depending on our knowledge and survival skills and yada yada. But my guess, not that long, being all alone in the world. So, being a social being, we are conditioned. Actually, there's so much nuance to it now that I think about, and I'm thinking about instinctual side of it and our natural survival mechanisms, where this is one of the most brilliant things I've ever learned from Dr. Gabor Mate, who is my personal rock star. This is the attachment versus authenticity conflict that we all get into from day zero of our lives. And in the first 3 years of our lives, this is the most vital and crucial period that we go through when our the core of our personality is being formed, right? The core, the like hard wired core. And so Dr. Gabor Mate, based on research, he talks about how we human beings have two survival needs, two survival mechanisms that are also needs. So, and then they are equally important throughout our lifetime. But when we come into this world as a baby, the baby that is unable to take care of itself, unable to walk, unable to feed itself, unable to do anything without care of another person. So it can't survive without others, right? The baby cannot survive without others. And so the baby comes into this world with two basic needs, two core survival needs: need for attachment. That is why, to survive, needs others to be attached to them to receive care in order to survive. And the second need is the need for authenticity. Why is that? Well, because authenticity is being connected to your instinctual self, your intuition, your instincts, your inner truth, exactly who you are and how you are, right? So it's very sort of instant based living rather than mind based living. And so, but when the baby comes in and it's helpless, does it, how do you think, Nathir? Does it have the choice when it comes, when the choice has to be made between being cared for and being real? Does it really have a choice, the baby?
Not really. Not
Not
much.
at all. It's not an option. For as long as the baby needs care to survive, there is no choice. So whenever the conflict presents itself, the baby automatically will choose attachment over authenticity. And
Of
so,
course.
yes. And so, when what does it look like, the conflict between attachment and authenticity for a baby? A mother or a father, some of the parents. Imagine a single mother. Oh dear Lord, this is like the toughest scenario. Or a single father who has to make the living and is under high amounts of stress. And the baby is so receptive. The baby can literally feel everything the parents feels. And the baby doesn't have, in the initial years, months and years of life, doesn't have a way to process, logically process that, oh, this is, my mom or my dad's going through a hard time. It's not about me. There's no such thing. So whenever a parent is uneasy, the baby is uneasy, and for the baby, it's always about them. They're feeling something, and it's always about them. And so the mother comes in, and the baby starts crying, and the mother is just too overwhelmed, and she's underslept, and she is anxious because maybe she doesn't have enough money. This was my childhood situation where I was raised by a single mother, and you're crying as a baby, and she tells you, "Stop crying," or I'll leave you alone in the room for an hour or whatever, something like that. We can make up these scenarios. I think we're all familiar with this kind of scenarios. And the mother doesn't do it on purpose. She's just trying. She's too overwhelmed, and she doesn't mean to harm the baby. She's just really doesn't know how to take care of herself in this moment without making it about the baby, right? And
True.
she's not conscious of it either, most likely. Um, and so the baby, what choice does the baby have?
None.
None. So the baby has to stop crying. Has
Well,
to
this
stop.
is
So what subconscious message does the baby receive? This part of you is not okay. This part, you're not a crybaby. You can't cry. Otherwise, mom's gonna leave, or you're gonna be abandoned. And this is one example. This is one of a million of examples of how this conflict shows up and how little by little, piece by piece, we learn when we really don't have choice, we learn to abandon parts of ourselves, to reject parts of ourselves, to hide parts of ourselves, to betray ourselves, our authenticity, our authentic expression for the sake of survival, for the need that stands the most high at that period of life. And then what happens by the age where you naturally transition into more of the teenager years, and when you are a young adult and you have to go in to do your life, and learn how to navigate the world in your own way and by yourself. Well, of course, your parents are there, hopefully, if you're lucky. And then what by that time you've already created sort of a mold of yourself where to keep it safe, these parts must stay hidden. So if I just behave like this, oh, thank you. If I just behave like this, if I just keep this course, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be accepted. Everything's going to be fine. People are going to love me. People are going to validate me. People are going to accept me, and I'm going to feel safe. But then you go out there by yourself. Think thousands of years ago to the cave people where we had to survive. Thank you. We had to survive in the wilderness. It was a very different time, right? And this is the kind of world that human beings came into, didn't we? We didn't come into the comfort of this, where all of our problems are solved like that by somebody else, if we have the money. So it was a very different world, and the human being was designed to come into the world of wilderness, the instinctual world, where imagine a man or a woman. I mean, I'm just taking an example of a man right now who had to. A woman was in the cave with the children, and the man has to go out there to hunt, to bring food, to bring provision, to bring, everything necessary to take care of the family's survival. And so imagine the man goes out there and there are, yeah, sure, there are rabbits out there, but there's also tigers out there. And if you're not connected to your instinct, if you're not connected to your gut and your intuition, you're probably not gonna sense that the tiger is sitting in the bush, very close, and planning the attack on you. But if you are, you would feel something. We all know that we have this gut feeling, this sense of intuition. I don't know what it is, but I feel something smells fishy or something feels off. I better leave. But if you are disconnected from yourself, if you're disconnected from your authentic expression, from your feelings, so many people in the world are disconnected from our feelings. We're told to not feel, especially men. Oh, dear men, everyone who's watching, I feel for you. You've been so conditioned not to feel, that being seen as a weakness, but that's a very nature of human beings. Feeling is part of us, is a natural part of us. So disconnecting from your feeling is to disconnect from a part of who you are. And so if we're disconnected from it, probably not gonna make it back to the cave, right?
True.
There's a high chance we're not gonna make it back to the cave. And so if you look at it now as a young adult going into an adult life out there in the world and building his own life or her own life, disconnected from themselves. How many times, you guys, Nadir, how many times in your life did you have this moment of you had this feeling that you should do this or you shouldn't do it, and you've done it or you didn't do it, and you're like, man, I knew it. Why did I do it? Why didn't I do it? I knew it. How many times did you have that?
We've all go through these experiences. I recall as I was growing
Yes.
up,
Yes, and we all know this. We all know this. It's a familiar experience to all of us. And so if you think about it, then the need for authenticity or the authenticity, this survival mechanism, the authenticity survival mechanism becomes a primarily dominant survival mechanism when you go into adulthood. You need it. You have to be connected in order to navigate the world and create the best life scenario for yourself, right? To avoid things that are not good for you and to maybe follow the things that are the best for you. So being authentic, there's a quote, and I can't remember, was it Dr. Mate or was it somebody else? I believe this is Dr. Mate. And I have this quote on my website. The quote says, if you want to stay alive, and this goes not just physically, but also, the sense of being alive. If you want to stay alive, stay authentic. I love that quote. Put it on my website.
Lovely, lovely. Marta, wow. I love the way you've answered this question. Wow, there's so much value that was taken out of this one specific question. And this leads me to the next question. I would like to know, what sort of challenges did you face in staying true to yourself?
When you step on the path of becoming authentic and living your life fearlessly, being who you are in the world, the challenge is that everything that you are not, all the adaptation mechanism that you've learned, adapted throughout your life up until now, it has to go. It cannot come with you. There's no place for it in the new you. And so with all the pretending, when the pretending falls away, guess what else falls away? Everything that wasn't aligned with who you really are. That goes for relationships, that goes for jobs, that goes for lifestyle, maybe life direction. That's the biggest challenge of it. To find yourself, you gotta lose the not self and everything that's attached to it.
Do you think it's possible to be completely authentic in all aspects of life? Or
I don't have to think, Jesus was. Duh.
yeah, well, that is a good answer. That is a good
He's my
answer.
role model. He's my role model. Is it
Beautiful.
extremely difficult? Yeah, because it requires a lot of courage. You cannot be authentic and not be courageous. Impossible.
Not true. What habits or practice help you stay authentic?
What habits or practice?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, self-reflection and mindfulness is a huge part of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful.
Without it, you can't really, because otherwise, how are you gonna even know?
True,
Yeah.
true.
Mindfulness has been the center practice of my life for a long while, and it is the absolute center right now. This is how I start my day. This is what I practice throughout the day. This is what I practice before going to like finishing my day. So mindfulness is where your freedom begins.
Yes.
Freedom
Wonderful.
of being authentic.
Beautiful. I want to close off with a last question, Marta. What advice would you give to someone struggling to embrace the authentic self?
Advice.
Yes. So someone that's struggling to embrace the authentic self.
I just want to say it the way I would say it. Okay, I'm gonna take a risk and be authentic. My advice, which I don't know if it's an advice, but it's rather and some sort of assurement. You can't fuck it up, my friend. You can't. As long as you keep going, no matter how hard it is, and sometimes you give up and then you pick it up and then you give up again and then you pick it up again. But as long as you get up and keep going, you can't fuck it up, I promise. I've done it all. I've
Oh,
Yeah, you see, just be yourself and then you'll bring joy to people. That's your best confirmation of it.
thank you, Martha. Thank you. I think we had a lovely session.
We
And
did, but I don't
yeah,
want to leave Nadir. I don't want to leave Nadir
okay, go, go, go.
before going through the comments
Oh,
because we
yes, yes.
do
Oh,
have
please,
people
please, please.
interacting with us,
Of course, of course.
and
I see
I
these
want to
people.
go through some of our. So, do you think hedonistic or selfish people are authentic? The thing is, with authenticity doesn't mean good or bad. Authenticity just means true. So, whatever your truth looks like right now, that's authentic. You might be not self aware, you might have unhealthy patterns running through your whole being, but if you express it the way it is, you're being authentic. And through being authentic, you see why it's better to be authentic, even if you have an unhealthy behavior patterns, than pretending to be better than you are, is because you're actually bypassing the healing process um, by pretending to be somebody you're not, better than you are. Because, my dear role model, Jesus, also said, you will see the truth, and the truth will set you free. So it's the truth of who you are, by expressing the truth of who you are, by expressing who you truly are and how you truly feel, and blah, 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 blah. You are able to see, like, you are able to actually see what is present, and then you'll be perhaps given an opportunity to have an experience which will teach you, you know what, if you be an asshole here like this is what you're gonna get, because karma is not exclusive, it's very inclusive. Karma goes for all equally, abundantly. And so, but if you keep doing shitty things and say, "Oh no, but I'm so good," and I'm blah blah blah, that's a bypass, and you're actually making it longer for the healing process to occur for yourself. It'll take longer for yourself if you're not real with yourself. So my answer is yes. They are authentic if they are expressing it authentically. If they are selfish and they're saying, "Oh, but look at me, I'm so selfless," then no, they're not authentic. But if they say, "You know what, I'm selfish and I know it," they're being authentic.
Definitely.
Okay, what else do we have here? Can you fall in love with somebody who is not themselves? Yeah, yeah. I feel my personal perspective is that We don't meet people by chance. We don't fall in love with people by chance. I've fallen in love many times before, but falling in love is not the same as loving. Being in love is not the same with loving. Loving takes maturity. Loving is about giving, whereas when we fall in love, often, and in most cases, unfortunately, we are looking to get something from the other person. Oh, you make me feel so good. Please never leave. And then the moment they don't make you feel so good anymore, they're the asshole. So yes, you can fall in love with them and you can fall in love with them genuinely, and you can still be, and they can still be very much blinded from who they really are, and you are from who you really are. And you're going to be in this learning process together that's called relationships, and something will come out of it. Who knows? I know who knows.
Viewers, there's so much value drawn out of this conversation. I think Marta deserves some stars and gifts. Please,
No, Nadir, stop it. I'm not here for stars and gifts, but I'm very grateful for all your
yeah,
love, you guys. And I'm
I'm
so
actually,
happy to have this conversation.
yeah. I see we got about 2,500 viewers online. This is
No, that's
amazing.
that's likes. That's likes. We have only 4 viewers. And I love them. Thank you for staying with us.
Wait. We've got 2,500 likes.
Likes. Yes.
Yeah,
You do like
and we've
this. You see, I'm liking myself. I'm
okay.
liking myself so much.
Fantastic. Ah,
Thank you. Warrior spirit. Can you remind me your name? I remember you've been with me for a long time, but guys, I only have one hat and it's forgetful. So can you please guys remind me your name for those of you who doesn't have their name in there, so I can
Martha,
thank you properly.
Martha, just to move a bit away from this topic, I'm aware that you've been doing this human design, and I want to
Oh
ask,
yeah.
direct my question in such a way. Do you think that the human design tool and would be able to help people live their true, authentic self? So please tell us about the exciting. I think you started a YouTube channel, so I think you need to tell us
Yes.
about this channel where we can potentially live our true self. We get to know who we are.
Oh, first of all, good luck to us. It's a lifelong journey. But human design system, I personally love, and I chose to go deep and learn about the system because this knowledge is for somebody like me who's very logical and who wants to make sense of things and understand how things work and why the things the way they are. The human design system is a perfect tool for this kind of individuals, logical beings, I would say. It's a fusion of eight different tools, esoteric tools, as well as scientific tools, which is what I love even more about it. Because this is, we have four esoteric tools: is astrology, Kabbalah, I Ching, and is it I Ching or I Ching? And Hindu chakra system. And then we have biochemistry, genes, human like genome, genes, neutrinos, and quantum physics, all fused in one thing that's called the human design system. And so the human design system will give us a clear and precise blueprint of our body mind. It will teach us that the human design system is a science of the form principle. What does it mean? Is everything that has some kind of shape or form, the human design system will tell us about it very precisely so. And so you have this body mind right now. you have this body mind, right? You have this mind, this brilliant mind of yours, you have this body, and it came here on this playground with a potential. It's carrying a potential in itself, right? And so we are a player. So this is our avatar, and we are the one in control, in charge of this avatar. And it depends on us how good of a player we are to create a pleasant game experience for ourselves. Yeah. So the human design system says you are not this body mind. You are the consciousness, the passenger consciousness, having a great ride. And here is a very precise instruction to your avatar. How does your body work? How do you feed it? Where do you place it? Which environment? How does your mind work? How does your brain work? What are you here to become? What's your life purpose? What are your gifts? What's your aura like? How do you take right decisions that are correct for you? So it tells you everything about your avatar. Let's call it yourself, because um, that's what we are used to calling ourselves. That is important to remember. That's not us, because how can something that's ours be us? That's silly, right? This glass is mine doesn't mean that I'm this glass. So if I'm saying that the body is mine, why would I think that the body is me? I'm saying my body, I'm saying my mind, and then at the same time, I sort of believe that I am the body and I am the mind. That's contradictory. So that's what the human design system says. You are the passenger. This is your car. This is the makeup of your car. This is the model of your car. This is the functions of this. How many horsepowers you have. This is the color. This is how it works. And this is the mechanism that helps you make right decisions in your life, in order to bring out the highest potential installed into this avatar. So you can play small due to conditioning and thinking that you're this little thing and you can do nothing, and but I'm this here, and I'm not pretty enough, I'm not handsome enough, oh, I don't have the money, and like you come up with all kinds of excuses to stay small, to play small. And the human design system tells you, here is your gift, and here is how you know. This is the exact, precise, very practical decision-making mechanism that will help you, guide you to make decisions that are correct for you, in order for you to experience the highest potential of your car. So in other words, I can say, for instance, if you came in to the game, if you logged into the game and you got a Ferrari, why would you ever ride it 30 miles per hour? You wanna try going 300, no? Because that's the potential. Maybe you don't want to drive at 300 all the time, but you want to know what's possible with this car. Otherwise, like, what's the point of getting this car and never experiencing what it can do, what's possible with it? So the human design system helps us course correct to our authentic expression. It also tells us what it looks like and feels like when it's distorted and it's not working properly from the conditioning. This is what we touched on earlier, when we are conditioned not to be ourselves, when we are conditioned to be this way or that way. So we put ourselves in this box, and then we go through life being, in this box, and like, So the human design system helps you get out of the box and be who you are, and try the try to make it fun, and you knowing that you're driving a Ferrari and not a Volkswagen. And yes, it's true. I did, two of my friends and I create a podcast on YouTube. It's called Human Design Geeks. We've just started on the 1st of December. We launched the first introduction video. And we're all so tuned in, tapped in. We're all so on fire with it. We're all passionate about it. We're all experienced the transformative power of the human design system together. And we met with one of them, Julian, through TikTok. We connected on the grounds of having passion for the human design system, and ever since then we started talking, and he introduced me to a friend of his, and we became a trio obsessed with the human design system, and we started a podcast. And now, from the bottom of our hearts and our open minds, we want to help others experience the transformative power of the human design system and tap into a life that feels fulfilling, authentic, interesting, and truly meaningful to who you are. Not some idea of who you're supposed to be, but who you are. So yeah, if any of you guys feel interested or intrigued, please go to YouTube, find the Human Design Geeks. Human Design Geeks. We have a podcast. We have only a few episodes there now, but we're releasing every Sunday. New episode comes out, and we really try our best to make, because it's a complex knowledge, and it's got its own sort of technical language, but we do our best to make it digestible and relatable so more people can learn from it and actually apply it in their life and experience the transformation that goes, oh my God, life will end in 5 minutes. Why?
I suppose maybe they got a time limit. I'm not sure.
We have detected inactivity during your current life. Complete.
But
guys,
we've been
oh
so
no,
alive.
oh no. 1 second. I think it was me maybe who was inactive. Let's say. Oh no,
so
okay, we're back. Woo! Okay, we're back.
Wonderful.
It was me who was inactive. Maybe I tap on the screen now, guys. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll also be very grateful, because we're just starting, for your subscriptions, likes, comments, just any kind of activity. It doesn't have to be meaningful, but if you spend a few minutes of your time to like, share, subscribe, that would be so helpful, you guys. That would mean the world to me. Really helpful and really grateful. And thank you for the question, Nadir.
The plan is with the human design, and in terms of what we're doing, we want to have a global reach in the global village. So if the viewers are able to help us achieve that, that would be appreciated.
William, the warrior spirit. His name is William. Nice to meet you, William. I mean, I met you already, but now I know your name. Thank you.
I think we've covered all the questions, eh?
I guess so. It's been a fruitful conversation. What do you think, guys? I don't know. You let us know. How was it? I also see a question that we didn't reply that says, not being authentic is like living on autopilot, maybe? Yes, true. And not a nice autopilot. Not the one that feels good. Not the one that feels good.
Yeah, that's sort of. What do you think what would you think would happen if you continuously live your life being on autopilot?
What do I think will happen?
Yeah.
What I
20.
know will happen is that you will find yourself living a life of purpose and a life of fulfillment. That's what's gonna happen.
Beautiful. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Nadir.
I think we should ask the viewers of what they thought about the session today. Let us get some comments.
Yeah, we should do better, Nadir, with the comments. We're not doing that great sometimes.
Ah,
Marta, your life is always amazing and inspiring. Thank you, Clint. Thank you so much for saying that. I want to do it every day now because you said that.
yeah. You-
We were trying to go live on Facebook, you guys, but we couldn't figure out how to make it happen. We're learning. We're learning.
I think next time we can certainly do that. I think my space is gonna get quite busy where I am.
And that's okay. We're wrapping it up. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
want to say that Nathir and I are set up on the mission to do this live every Wednesday, if the time allows, but every week for sure. And you guys, I don't know if there's something of an interest, but Nathir is about to go on the journey to Mecca
Yeah.
and might be able to live stream from there, which I am so excited about. So, Nadir, if you have a chance by any miracle, I am so
Yes,
looking forward
yes. Of
to
course. Of
you logging in from the holy place.
Yes. So next weekend, Wednesday, I will be on a flight from Cape Town to Doha. And then on the 26th, I should be in Mecca. Yeah.
Amazing,
At the Holy City. So we should try and see if we can find some time to go live on the day I arrive. I
amazing.
think, yeah.
We will let you know, guys. But thank you
Of
for
course.
being with us today. We love
Yeah.
you. Please come back, and we're really happy that you've benefited from. It looks like you have benefited from this conversation.
Yeah.
Um, so we can't wait to do more,
Yeah. We love you guys. We bless you.
and we
And we
let you go
yeah.
until we see each other again.
And
Bye bye, you guys.
bye bye.